G'day, Australia. Let me ask you this question. Who is an Australian and what is an Australian? And when it comes to immigration and people say, I want to protect the Australian way of life, what is that Australian way of life to you? I want to hear from Australians, but I also want to hear from immigrants because I want to get an understanding of whether you've been an immigrant for 6 days or whether you've been an immigrant for 16 years and all in between. I would love to hear from you that when you first heard or first had the thought that I am going to travel to Australia, or I've just found out that I've got asylum in Australia. When I first knew that Australia was going to be my new home and that I was going to be supported by Australia or taken in by Australia, what were your expectations of Australia? What did you think Australia was? What did you perceive at that time might be the Australian way of life, and why did you choose Australia? I'd love to just know the answer because I don't know the answer to this question. And I've been posing to myself the question when I hear these people say, we need to protect the Australian way of life and we need to protect our heritage and I'm kind of like, what is that? And I've got things for me, and I know you've got things for you, and I know the Indigenous people have that for them as well. And we've kind of spoken about that for many years in this country over what the Indigenous identity lost. But what are we afraid as Australians, as immigration numbers continue to raise? What is it that we are afraid of losing, not what are we afraid that is coming in? And I hope that question makes sense, but I just want to hear from you. Indigenous, white Australian, immigrant Australian, citizen immigrant Australian, whatever you are, when you first knew you were coming to Australia, or when you have been grown up or brought up in Australia, what has Australia meant and been to you? And what part of that do you think is valuable and what part isn't? Pirate out.